What's up, everybody? I wanted to talk to you today about when your instructor tells you he trained the special forces or he trained the SWAT teams or law enforcement. And I get this a lot because over the years, I don't know how many guys, martial artists, they fall into the category of fake black belts, that say that they have trained the special forces, they have trained the U.S. military, they have trained law enforcement and SWAT teams, and blah, 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 right down the line. Well, they won't like it, but I'm just going to go right out and say that the government doesn't seek out ninja or the Bruce Lees of the country to train the special forces or law enforcement or the military. The government just doesn't do that. In fact, the government wants the military, wants the most basic program possible. That way everybody can get through the program. Now, I know some of you guys are going to say, well, not my instructor. But the instructors aren't teaching martial arts. They are teaching a very, very basic combatives program. And I know this because I've taught combatives to the military. And yes, I really have. For the Center for Security Forces, for the United States Navy, for maritime interdiction operations. So yeah, I really have taught some of those groups. And I can tell you that I know personally that you do not have carte blanche to just go do whatever you want and teach whatever you want because you are the end-all to end-all. And I hear people say this all the time. Yeah, I taught Navy SEALs. Yeah, I taught Special Forces. And here's what it really is. They probably demonstrated a couple of techniques to some friends of theirs who are involved in military or law enforcement, or they've worked out together, they've trained together, and now that's on their calling card. Yep, I trained Dev Group back in the 80s when Marcinko was around. He came to my front door, knocked on the door, came and got me. And so these guys that are talking about teaching hand-to-hand combat techniques to special forces, you're talking about some pretty rough guys already. And I see a lot of these guys that they walk around with their starched uniforms and their starched belts and all their badges and whistles and their so-called weapons experts. And then I've seen some of the stuff that they do, and I'm just thinking to myself, my God, you have no idea what it's like to wear all the gear that operators have to wear when they're on an operation. You have no idea the tactical gear that they have to wear. And you have to maneuver around your kit, your belt, your plate carrier, your medical pouch on the belt, your drop leg pouches, your backpack, all this, your communication equipment. You have to navigate and be able to fight on all that stuff. And you know, these guys talking about throwing these high, wild techniques. One of the reasons that the military has adapted Muay Thai, some Muay Thai techniques, and this is because of one person, and the person is called a CCMM, a Course Curriculum Model Manager. And the guy is a GS, and more than likely in your area, he's also a GS. And he signs off on any changes that are made. And they are very, very, very conscious about making sure that the technique is something that is so basic that a one-legged amputee could do it. There are no advanced super techniques, secret techniques. And this guy is the one who has to sign off on it. And usually he probably has his own war stories about his days back in the NAM. and you have to listen to all that. But he's the one for everyone across the board that signs off on whether or not you're going to teach these techniques. And I see this because every week I see guys that say, yeah, man, I teach law enforcement. I trained law enforcement. Well, probably doesn't say much for you, because there's been 2 shootings in the past 2 months by law enforcement that have killed innocent people. You know, and if you're going to train, you're going to train. There's nothing wrong with any martial art, no matter what you're doing. The problem is when these guys, you know, meet somebody or train with somebody, their neighbor or whatever, and then now all of a sudden these guys are walking around saying that they train the special forces, or they train the local SWAT teams, you know, Los Angeles County, Chicago, whatever. Just not true. Because the police department has, I don't care, pick any city USA, has an abundance of practicing martial artists in their own departments. Why would they not go to these guys and ask them for advice? They have an abundance of police officers and military personnel that fight in mixed martial arts already. So why would they not go to them? That's right. So when these guys say that they've done that, take it with a grain of salt. If you feel iffy about them, then your instincts are probably right. If they're a good instructor, stick with it. You know, you can overlook that kind of stuff, or you can question more into it, and maybe you'll find that there is some validity into it. But just wanted to point that out, because I've seen in the past several comments on social media, a couple of guys arguing back and forth with another guy, and kind of pulled me into it. And one guy actually ended up apologizing afterwards. So, hey, this is Bob Smith. Blood makes you related, and loyalty makes you family. Out.